Jania. So today we're installing an aftermarket VW virtual cockpit to my Golf Mark 7. I've always wanted to do this, but the OEM screens have been really expensive. They go for around 1k. This is £350 from AliExpress and involves taking out the old board and putting it into the new display. The biggest benefit of having an aftermarket digital dash is that not only is it cheaper, no coding is required because you are still using the same board, so no correction is needed. So the kit comes with the surround, the display and some tools, but I still recommend having a car trim removal kit and a torque set. So we start off by removing the center air vents and trim. This was a bit of a struggle as there's two connectors which connect to the back of the hazard switch. Also make sure you reconnect this before turning the car back on, otherwise you'll get an airbag issue which can only be cleared using VCDS. Once removed, it's time to remove the driver side air vent. Just use a pry tool and pull it out. Then you need to remove the old speedo. The surround just pulls off and there's two screws at the bottom which you have to remove. Once removed, put your finger behind the speedo, pull it towards you and this should set it free. Disconnect the speedo and take it inside. Now it's time to take out the old board. We start by removing the four screws which are located around the speedo. You need a T8 screwdriver to remove these screws. Once removed, you need to undo both clips on either side. Then it's time to remove the dials. Use the orange pry tool included to remove the needles. Just slide it under, pry upwards with a bit of pressure to free these. Then remove the black dials, black surround and the three remaining torque screws. This should remove the white plastic from the board. If not, you might need to use a pry tool to take it off from the edges. Then we need to remove the display. This is done by pressing the tabs on either side, freeing up the cable. Next, we need to remove the four white attachments. These control the gauges on the original speedo. I labeled these just in case I need to go back to the old display. You remove them by poking it with something that resembles a needle. I just used the speedo needle, and then it's time to move the board over to the new display. This part is pretty simple. Undo the clips on either side, carefully remove the top half, minding the ribbon cable, then place the board onto the display, screw it into place using some washers, then use the remaining screws supplied to secure the two halves together. Then I went back to the car, fed the cables through. These are needed for upgrades, and if you want to connect to your phone, then plug up everything, turn the car on to make sure the display worked, and fitted the surround. So we finally installed the VW aftermarket virtual cockpit, and as I mentioned, no coding is required. As you can tell, the original mileage is displayed at the bottom. We'll start the car, and as you can see, the speedo is working. The cruise control works, the temperature works, the fuel works, the speedo works. And the best part about this, you can choose different styles. So for example, we've got the standard classic, we've got sport, which looks like an Audi, we've got sport rainbow, sport race, digital, and for those wondering what this blue screen is, this is where you can mirror your phone screen. My favorite one is gear and speed because it looks the most like a VW, and you've probably noticed, hang on, you've got a diesel car, this is showing the speedo for a petrol car. So in order to change this, go to setting, dashboard and normal, and there you go, it's back to our original dashboard, just like the old speedo. And for those wondering, how do you mirror your phone screen? Once you've connected it, all you need to do is screen mirror, choose arcade cast, and it will appear on the dash once connected. There you go. From here, you can go on YouTube, play a video, and I've got no internet. Great times. As you can see, we've mirrored the phone screen onto the digital dash. You can maximize the display, you can minimize the display. The main purpose of this is to get maps such as Waze, Google Maps on the digital dash, which you can't do on an OEM screen. But overall, the virtual cockpit has been running great. No issues whatsoever, no glitches, no issues with the gauges being incorrect. Everything just works fine. And for those asking why the audio is turned off, copyright reasons, but you can play it either through the built-in speaker on the board, or you can connect it via Bluetooth onto the infotainment system. But for obvious reasons, please don't watch and drive. You know, park up, turn the engine off, and watch it on the infotainment screen using an auto opener box if you haven't got one. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the support, and bigger mods are coming soon. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, and thank you for all the support.